Give it up again for Ara! Kidding, up the mic. It burnt my hands. So now, up on the next we're going to have a really amazing poet from the Tohono Nation. Una poeta de la Nación Tohono. I want to introduce y'all right now to Amber. Give it up for Amber. Dale un aplauso para Amber.
Skaktash, Ani Abjugik, Amber Ortega, Ani Amjud Saboitak, Nijit Jugik, Geneva 1, and Yaag Jugik, Melvin Ortega Ba. So, my name is Amber Ortega. My mother is Geneva 1, and my father is the late Melvin Ortega. And I come from the village of Coldfields. We are the third village from the border. And this is called the American Mind District. Do you know when you present yourselves as slaves for obedience, you become slaves to the one whom you obey? So will you obey a bordered way of thinking, living in bondage to an attitude? Or will you obey the one who intends all to be free? What happened to home is where the heart is. Where is your heart? What has become of our home? And where are the travelers? I'll tell you where. They're covered in dust, lost, caged, and hidden. They're being persecuted for being human. Our home is a reflection of our heart. So where is your heart? How bitter is the taste on your tongue? You greed and lust for excess, yet refuse to accept and love thy neighbor. Our country is made up of official superficials, listening to the serpent's lies, saying, this country is the one with wisdom, when true wisdom only comes from the divine. Country's beauty burdened by Babylon, really no mystery. Check your history. I'm so tired of our home becoming less wholesome, reckless and selfish decisions, reflection of the heart. People's hearts frozen to an unnecessary degree due to the encouragement of more disgust. Attitudes say, let us entrust those who lust. When wickedness multiplies, transgressions increase, but the righteous will see the fall. A cleaner home and a cleaner heart is all we have ever wanted for all. What once was, will be, for the meek shall inherit the earth, regardless of what the mind thinks, because the heart speaks, and we are the heartbeat. We indigenous have been called to lead, for we hold the seeds and believe in He. Our faith is strong, and you are only deceived. Our lives have always been embracing Thee. Our righteousness is our best quality. For the race is not for the swift, but for those who endure. So we endure. We have no fear. We can see the clear, which is why we will steer. So where are your hearts? You have the nerve to convict a person for being human. Your decisions are delict. Can you feel the hearts broken? Can you feel the deprivation? Any tithes of the land from grain grown to the fruit on the trees belongs to our God. His children are His sacred seeds. What is sacred to thee? Another plea from He. For the wages of sin is death, death of what created our country. As indigenous ones, we accepted the huddled masses. We accepted those yearning to breathe free. With meekness, we even accepted your unnecessary perversions and greeds. To accommodate your ways, we now give you machines. And we gave the tired shelter, because as righteous ones, we consider the cause of the poor. For our God states, when a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. So where are your hearts at? Are they lost in the continents you came from? Are they still roaring in the winds that sailed you to freedom? What is your definition of liberty? Because you are offensively restricting. We indigenous can no longer be quiet because your mindsets are inadequate. We have zero tolerance for your arrogance. Do we really want to use our country's money and intelligence to build a freaking wall? A virtual wall already exists. Restriction encourages more rebelliousness. So do we want to wall ourselves in more? To create a war, to trump up a door? You are already fracking the core and making a whore of our home, desecrators. A ruler who lacks understanding is a great oppressor. We with understanding will withstand and we will endure. We have no fear. We can see the clear, which is why we will steer. Can you feel what's on the horizon? Can you feel your sin? The only border we acknowledge is from the sea to the sun. What is natural knows no boundaries. We are not cattle, we are human beings. To limit a people, you limit the land that we meekly put into your hands. Thanks to God's grace, as native nations, we still stand. I come from the Tohono Nation, and we are the size of Connecticut now, due to your restrictions. We have no word for wall. We have people who live on both sides of what you call the perimeter, barrier, border, the divider meant to divide more. Aside from your mind, what are you really trying to barricade? Because our lives radiate freedom. We are his vines. We call you to resign, which is why you want to confine. Those who are greatly oppressed have the ability to love the most. Now, I'm not trying to boast, but before the American mind shut, we merely traveled as you did to our home. The American mind shut says, let's institutionalize, intimidate, demoralize, and eliminate. What's next? Genocide? The American Holocaust? Wait. We already had that in native country. The American mind shut's goal has not changed one bit because it still intends on breaking the people's spirit, trying to take our merits. I am so tired of hearing the president and media stuck on the attempt to create migrants out of immigrants. Issues beyond the IAMS. We cannot have what's possible without what seems impossible. What would our country be without imagination? Shall we be a country of imitation, imitating what is frozen and rigid? Are you that immensely intimidated? What are you truly in fear of? I ask as an indigenous to this land. What else do you have planned? You've already dammed the natural flow. So where do our taxes go? They go to frivolity, to keep us in poverty. So do you want to entrust those who lust? Because it's hunger for their gain, Hunger Games. Border Patrol cowards from investigation and participates in deception. Those who are manipulated are unconsciously corrupted. Those who misreport, can we deport? There are those who lie about who they work for. Their vehicles attempt to say, let us help you feel secure, as they carelessly crush our people. Border Patrol. You attempt to create fear and hostility, trying to provoke what you call the wild Indian, when it is you who is wild within. Our law states, thou shalt not kill. As indigenous ones, we can see you are ill-willed. Your towers attempt to cause tremble, and you attempt to run over our ability to hold you accountable. Your stones cast are tire marks and bullet holes. You're encouragers of degradation. You scan bodies to fill with radiation. Then you hide behind your big toys. I guess you're in fear of being human. Mr. President, you cannot regulate what you did not create, which is why you are trying to dictate. Pain and despair are temporary, and what you are actually provoking is our ability to channel indignation. This is condemnation. You encourage discrimination, and you represent malevolence. You allow for purging of perimeters and presence, creating roads to massacre, and creating a path to plunder what is sacred in reality. It's a sick mentality. You are contemptuous to humanity. And you disregard the cries, and would rather speak lies. So we, indigenous, point our eyes in shame of your so-called power, so you also cower. We can all attest to this, for thou shalt not bear false witness. Our country is being run by madmen who greed and lust for excess, colonialism, racism, debasement. It's their sin. We need to take back our nation. Those who are wolfish desire the wall. Those who are ferocious feed the bad wolf. Those who hate this, oh, how long our days will be prolonged. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, there's a saying that states this: there are too many chiefs and not enough Indians. So we indigenous are raising stronger men and women. For we are only strong and very courageous. For we are reverent and we will endure. We have no fear. We can see the clear, which is why we will steer. Can you hear the heart speak? Can you handle the heat? We are the heartbeat. We follow his lead and teachings. He instructs us according to the ways we should go. So here I stand, as an indigenous to this land, to say this. Where is your heart? All right, add one more.